What's up, everyone? I'm here with Jordan Olds. Welcome back to the show, brother. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing as good as I can be still right now.
Yeah.
Um yeah.
Yeah. Staying busy. I see you're a very busy man.
Yes, staying very busy. It's been weird. It's a weird time to try to keep a really intense schedule, especially with us with these weekly covers. Um it's weird to have the rent the only times we've done consistently since March released like a cover a week minus I think twice, and that's due to the world falling apart. Like we missed 1 week because half of the musicians who were supposed to be a part of the song lived on the West Coast and everything was on fire. And it's hard to, you can't make a brand plan for
Yeah.
everything's on fire and the entire West Coast looks like a Mortal Kombat level. We can't, you know.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. It's like the Wild West out here.
Yeah. Damn. I don't know. Everything's getting bad again. I like the numbers for the virus are worse than ever, but now everybody's just so desensitized to it. We're just like, of course. Um, and there's nothing we can do. But I'm I moved an hour outside of the city. I have a house for the first time ever in my life.
Not
That's
an
just
apartment, actually,
not an
house.
apartment. I have a house with space. It's good for my dog. I'm taking care of. I like it. I like it a lot, and my everything is great. Minus I don't know ticks. That sucks. Sucks that
Yeah, you
there are
gotta be
ticks.
careful with the dog and the ticks.
Yeah, even with me, like my friends who were from this town, it's like, dude, you gotta if you go on a hike, you gotta like when you get home, you gotta like check your balls because there might be ticks on them. It's
Oh.
which is they were like, we're not kidding. It's just what happens.
You're gonna
Um,
get ticks on your balls. Just make sure you look for them. Okay.
yeah, I'm more familiar with my own balls than I have been in years.
Well, now you can wear a dog collar, like the flea and tick collars that they sell. Just
Yes.
use it as a cock ring.
Yeah, we could do that, or I would just wear it like, chokers are back in. They've
Oh
been back
yeah,
in for the last, like, I think they look great. What a perfect excuse for me to just try out that look on myself. It's like, no, it's for ticks.
yeah,
But
and
also,
you can also like customize them and sell them on Etsy. You know,
yes,
you get one
someone get on that.
with studs. You know.
I would love that. I got I think my dog has, I think her spiky collar is from Etsy.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice, nice.
yeah,
Etsy has revolutionized crafts people
for
that
sure.
chill at
It's
home and just make stuff.
Yeah, listen, we lost Hobby Lobby, so here we it's all we have now.
Lobby lobby. Oh, before we keep going, I'm gonna take a drink of this delicious Killcliff CBD drink. It's their mango tango flavor, and it has 25 milligrams of CBD, which really helps me with inflammation and other ridiculous things that I did to myself from years of headbanging and moshing and car accidents and what being alive in 2020.
Yeah.
Ah, all right. I also had some breakfast and used some of this delicious hot sauce on some eggs. Very tasty. You can use it on your fake eggs too. El Yucateco hot sauce. Go to shopelucateco.com and use the promo code RRBG to get 10% off. Anyway, back to
I I
talking to
for,
you.
I forgot we were doing video on this because last time we didn't.
Yeah,
I
dude.
fell
Oh
off.
my God. It blew my mind when I realized that all this time, for 3 years, I did this podcast. I could have been recording these things and putting them on YouTube, but I'm such a moron. It just took the pandemic for me to be like, oh, maybe people want to watch it.
Right? Yeah. You know what, man? Go for it. I'm in pajamas now.
Yeah.
Because I had to. I was doing yard work before this. and just
Like an adult.
again, like an adult. And I was like raking leaves for the first time, and I got just like really dirty, and again the aforementioned ticks. So if I'm outside, like I'm in pajamas at like 4:30.
Yeah,
Afterwards.
I'm in pajamas all day these days. Thankfully, I work at home, so I get to be in pajamas all day, except when I have to get groceries or run the dog outside real quick. But even then, I've been taking out these sweatpants. I'm just getting very comfortable with them, thanks to the pandemic. Sweatpants are nice.
Yeah, I've met a lot of the neighbors, or just like by meet the new neighbors, I mean just like wave at them from yard or just like yell hi. But it's always when I'm taking my dog out first thing in the morning, and I forget that it's just like not like I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm so used to just going, like taking my dog out and doing the initial morning bodega run in just like slides and whatever your pajama gear is. And I feel like I'm freaking out the neighbors really badly, not because of like any of my face paint nonsense, but just they're like, this motherfucker is just in pajamas.
You should be going in your face paint too. Just go lean into it all the way. Because...
they have seen it. Like we did the first thing I filmed here was the Journey cover with Kurt Ballou. Like I filmed like week 2 of me at my new house is just me in my backyard with a keytar alone. Like the camera's low angle, so you can't. Most people probably did not see that there was a camera there. So a lot of my neighbors are just looking at me on the rock in my backyard, or it's more of like a side yard. So they're just driving by or walking their dogs by and just seeing a dude playing. They probably couldn't even hear the music because I'm like doing playback from my phone, which is in my pocket, and just seeing this guy playing no piano on a rock in a suit.
Yeah,
they were just It was that was probably the moment they were like, fucking hipsters, they're moving out here, they're taking over.
Content creators, ugh.
Yeah, it's a very good introduction to me, I think. That and pajamas.
Pajamas.
Yeah.
Pajamas. But dude, your cover with was it Coheed, right? Claudio,
yes.
And was it Primus, Mastodon? Am I saying yes? Was it Danny Carey on the drums?
Yep.
That is almost at 1 million views.
Yes.
Don't they start sending you stuff when that happens? Like, does YouTube send you like a plaque?
Maybe
you hit 1 million.
I have no idea. I think they give you a plaque when you get 100,000 followers, and we're close.
Nice.
We're close to that, which is cool.
Blown up, man. You fucking blew up. These covers are everything during the pandemic.
Yeah, like the weird thing is we planned to do this exact thing before the pandemic existed. Like we were trying to figure out how to break pieces of the show down, because we weren't planning on doing a second season with Patreon money. It was hard to do the first season, and the whole point of the first season was just to have like a proof of concept for networks and stuff. It was essentially, we did a whole season as like a pilot, also because we thought it was fun. But it was at the time we didn't have enough money to like properly, like until earlier this year, until like November, we were still paying off the first season with our Patreon money. And so we were figuring out ways to like break the show apart and do pieces of it in sort of an easier format. And our biggest problem was getting guests to St. Vitus. especially because we don't have, we're not working with a booking agent. It's hard for to just reach out to musicians that we love who like the show and go, hey, are you going to be free on this date at night and in New York and not playing your own show? Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to lock it down. Like, Chelsea Wolfe wanted to be on the show for like 4 years.
Jeez.
And we could never figure out the time because it's hard. People are touring. They're going all out. So we came up with like, well, we can at least do, like, she wanted to do Crazy Train for all of those 4 years. Like, we had the plan for that exact cover for years. And we were just like, what if we just did it where people just filmed from home and we'll like rebuild the cover that way. And that's why like the first couple of covers, like you see Weird Al and Riff Raff are filmed in the same, like Steve is in my apartment. Like Steve's footage is it's shot a lot better because it's used we used our real cameramen. Like all of Ben's footage is shot at the same place because the plan was just that was going to be like Steve and I would film at my place and Ben's stuff would be at his place, and then we would figure out a way to send a cameraman to our guest musician. And it's just kind of evolved naturally into the quarantine style, but we kind of had a little bit of a leg up creatively,
right,
with how we were going to do ours.
That's kind of nuts. It's kind of like premonition, man. Like you kind of saw it coming, almost not consciously, but you know what I mean.
Well,
kind of saw something there.
It's weird because like the thing, like, we're seeing success because musicians are available to do our to do our show, and it's working out because we're able to give with the Patreon and the Bandcamp sales, like we're able to give back to them. Like we're trying to give them something to do, but we're also giving them money. Like every musician who's on the show is splitting Patreon and Bandcamp money evenly. So, and they're leaving with like, it's either they get a good amount of money to donate to a charity organization that they love, or to actually just help pay bills because it's just an awful time. It's an awful time to be a musician, a working musician. It's hard.
Exactly. Yeah. And what you're doing a service, man. You're doing a service for them and for the people. I mean, these covers are awesome, and they get better and better every time you put one out. It's like,
thanks, man.
They're kicking ass. Not just the song choices, but just the production gets better every time. And I'm just blown away, dude. Like the last time we talked, like on the podcast, you were still doing just the talk show style at St. Vitus.
Yes, we were doing the talk with the, and this is the evolution. Like this was always, weirdly, it was always meant to be just a part of one of the things that we were doing. We were trying to dissect pieces of the show. We were like, the big musical performance at the end of the episode. Let's do those quarantine style, and then, or like, let's do those where everybody films from their own location and we'll build the song that way. And then we were like, we saw like a lot of YouTube creators doing that, and like, and we were like, okay, well, we can do that, but with like, let's do that with not YouTube musicians. Let's do it with musicians from bands that we love. Let's try that. And then we were planning all these different ways, these angles on how to do the interview. And then all of our ideas still involved having other people around us, and it's been just too hard to, like, we could do just like a normal interview like what you and I are doing, but we were like, like that wouldn't really be us, right, to do that. Like we would need something a little bit like just bizarre to make it happen. Like we wanted to, we don't want it to feel like it's our like on stage interview, but with the audience removed.
Right. Yeah.
We're trying to solve for that problem, but also that's what every musician is trying to solve right now with live streaming is how do we do our concerts without our audience? And I think we're all seeing that the answer to that is you don't. You got to evolve and make live streaming something else.
Well, we have the answer for that. It's the Thunderdome.
Oh, in wrestling. Oh, God. Dude, it's insane. It's insane how if listeners don't know what we're talking about, like wrestling, WWE built like like rows of paneled screens so that their fans could Skype into the stadium and just be in the audience. But what WWE didn't think about is people are fucking assholes, and they just immediately just would start like they had to shut it down. So now it's just footage of looped people who have already Skyped in because
there's still some people Skyping in, but they have to like be very selective. They only let a couple people in now. Like they can't just they gotta screen it somehow.
Yeah, they gotta screen it because there were just like Nazi flags. And, like Chris Benoit. It was awful. The worst thing about that is the piped in crowd noise. That just it makes I see the simulation. I feel it just feels weird. They have to know it feels weird.
They do, and that's why NXT is so different. Why do you think there's a crowd at NXT? They're surrounding the ring, all the wrestlers or whatever, but there's people there making noise. So that when they fuse in, pump in a little bit of extra oomph, it doesn't feel as fake because there are people there banging on this glass and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit better, but no, you're not fooling anybody with the fucking fake chants coming through the speakers.
I heard a "This Is Awesome" at one of I think it like I haven't watched like WWE proper since like SummerSlam because I was so curious about what that was gonna look like, what the Thunderdome was gonna look like, and there was like a fake "This Is Awesome" chant. I'm like, this is crazy. You people are crazy. This you can't make up your own. That is the fake like chants are not like. Ambient, vague hysterics are already way too David Lynch for me. But on top of that, creating chants is just like the company is giving themselves a nickname. It's so weird.
It's peak McMahon. It's all it is. It's peak McMahon. He is probably the happiest he's ever been because he's like, I can control how the audience reacts now.
Totally.
Fuck yeah. It's But hey, they did a good job with Roman Reigns. I never gave a single shit about Roman Reigns and the Shield, but now with this whole new thing that he's doing, I was like, okay, I can buy this. I'll take it.
I've heard it's great. I'm gonna watch the Survivor Series because I really want to see Asuka and Sasha. I think that's gonna be really cool. I also I'm happy for Drew McIntyre. I like him from the indie. He was great on the indies, and I'm glad that they're just giving like a newer dude like a push. It's not just like three people who have the belt. That's cool. I'm happy for him, and I'm curious to see heel Roman. They finally did it.
They did it right. I think with the whole family thing, bringing in the Wild Samoans, like they made it about the bloodline and all that stuff, which gives him character. Like what was the Shield? It was just, hey, here's a Samoan dude that wears bulletproof vest and is Superman. Like I don't understand that character, but the dealing with the family thing, having the tribal like that whatever. When they made him at some point, they make him like the tribal chief and Paul Heyman. My God.
Yeah, Paul Heyman's his talking dude, right? That's great.
Yeah, and I always thought he was great with Brock, and I was like, man, this is it. This is going to be the peak. This is how his career ends. Like, is the peak of his career, I think, and I think after this it's downhill. But no, he switched it up completely. Instead of coming out screaming and hollering like he would with Brock, he's very quiet and Jake the Snake like.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's whispering basically the whole time.
I like that a lot. I think that sounds great. I'm excited to see it. I think my favorite of the wrestling shows right now is NXT.
Yeah.
I think they're doing the best. Like, I was really excited about AEW, but I'm just, to be honest, I'm not super into it. If I'm being honest, like, it's just not, it feels like, because it's not for me. It seems like it's a show, like, everyone who makes that show is a wrestler and an old school, like, they love, they're longtime wrestling fans, and they kind of want to make a show, like, they're
making a wrestling show.
They're making a wrestling show for wrestling fans. Like, everything is like a really deep inside joke to something that happened in like 1982 or whatever. It's all really old.
You have to watch all of the Being the Elite videos to get all of the storylines that are going on.
Yeah, and they're bringing in, like, it's just for an older audience. Like, they had a shot. They don't use Sunny or Nyla that often, and I'm just like, well, that's kind of what I was most excited about, and a lot of, like, I guess the newer performers, but it's just kind of the main players in New Japan or old WWE guys. Like, I get it. I'm so happy they get to do what they want and everything, but it doesn't. It's. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. It's missing something for me. It feels old. Like,
It's interesting to hear, man. Because I a lot of the people I talk to, they're all stoked about it. But I talked to a lot of marks, so.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It's for them. They're like, oh, this is the. I mean, there's pieces of it that I love. Like, I love the weird stuff. Like when MJF and Jericho did a musical number. That's for me. For me. Loved it.
Did you see the Vegas? They just did a thing in Vegas. They took over Vegas.
Yeah, I saw like pieces of it, and I was like, look, I appreciate you guys trying. It's weird to fucking watch people try to hang out in the pandemic. Like, yeah, I know you guys want to pretend like it isn't and you can party, but like even all the things you're referencing are. Like, you guys are just hanging out together and getting drunk in different rooms. Like, that's all you're doing is at the end of the day. Yeah. And then there's like there's bartenders and masks. I'm like, I know, I appreciate, I feel like at first I thought they were doing like the better job at handling the pandemic kind of stuff. But now they're doing a lot of like pretending like it isn't happening.
Right.
Like, or
they
like
have
someone will cut them.
They have a crowd now.
Yeah, they have
actual fans in the audience, which is weird.
It's weird because they're all separated, and it feels like, I know, like, listen, we all want to get back to, but it's not getting better, and it's weirder to not acknowledge it, or it's weirder when like I remember like Taz cut a promo on like Jon Moxley for not being there because his wife had like COVID or whatever, and I'm like, this is such a weird thing to dog on someone about. Like, that's your fault. Like, it's wrestling's fault that they have COVID. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it's a heel move, though, right? Is it a heel move to say something like that?
Yeah, it is. It is a heel move, but it's just like it's just weird because I'm like, you're being mean about it, but it's the work in general. It's just that wrestling isn't doing a good job of containing this, but whatever. Either way, I think it's just.
I mean, the president is a WWE Hall of Famer. He's doing a great job of containing. situation.
Doing such a good job. No one is dead or sad. But fucking I don't know. Like it's I think AEW is it just doesn't like even me as a newer fan, as in like someone who's only been watching for like 5 years, it's confusing at times. Like there's or like the get like their guest stars are from the 90s. Like they like why are you bringing in Shaq? Who the fuck?
That's where they lost me, by the way. I've been watching it every week and I'm into it because I like a lot of the younger talent that they bring in is SoCal dudes.
Awesome.
That I know. And I know that they are out of work because they're not doing PCW, they're not doing bar wrestling, they're out of work, so them getting shots there, to me it's like, okay, cool. But then I saw the whole Shaq announcement and I was like, no, that's it. There's where you got me to stop watching. I still care about some of the other storylines that are going on, like kind of dig what the Young Bucks are doing, kind of dig the Jericho thing too, but I really don't need Shaq in there. You know, if you're gonna bring an old star, bring Tyson in again. That was good. He's in shape. He has a fight coming up. I don't know.
Even Tyson is just like, dude, the last time Tyson was relevant was The Hangover, and that's so.
Well, he's relevant right now because he's coming back. He's got a match he's preparing for, so everybody's all stoked on Tyson again. So now is a decent time to bring him in because people care.
That makes sense, but it's still
not Shaq. What the fuck is Shaq doing?
I guess it's like a TNT thing, but it's like you should have like
Gold Bond commercials, or what is it? Icy Hot, like which one's the?
Well, you know, NXT is making better choices with who they're like they're putting effort into like, all right, let's get like, all right, our we'll have like younger bands, but like they're putting so much stock in like Code Orange and Poppy, and I think that that's a really smart idea because younger people are into that, and also like I think, you know, I don't know exactly who Pat McAfee is, but he seems like a younger football related person.
Yeah, he's one of those like football commentators that, you know, he's a color commentator where he's just there to give personality to the thing.
Right. Wasn't he at one time a football player?
He played football and he loves wrestling, so he's been training a lot. And dude, he's impressive. I mean,
he was good.
I don't really care for him beforehand, but and even at first when they first started the thing with Adam Cole, I was like, this is kind of cheesy. But then when he did the match, I was like, oh, he's in it to win it. He's in it to work. Yeah, he wants to be a part of the thing. So, and he's a natural. He's got the thing down. The mic skills are great. You know, the actual work probably he can use some more practice, but the mic skills are there for sure.
I think, you know, I think there needs to be, I think with AEW, like they need, I know that the whole point of it is everybody to be able to do their own thing and whatever. But I'm like, you motherfuckers need, I know you don't want a writer's room, but you fucking need a writer's room or something. Cause this
needs some help with the writing for sure.
Like you need a genuine creative voice. Cause like 1 week someone's a heel and they're like, we fucked that up. And then like, I don't understand who, like they brought in Rusev and what the fuck is he it's video games and he's I don't get what this is.
Well, here's the thing. Their problem is they do build all this narrative that you need, but it requires you to go elsewhere. And that's a major problem. Like you need to know that Rusev has a Twitch channel and watch his Twitch channel. You need to watch all of the Being the Elites. You need to watch Kip Sapien and his Twitch channel so you can understand all the story. And it's like I don't have time for all of that. I don't know if kids have the time for that or the attention span for that. I
think they also just have an assumption that just like everyone like, oh, it's we can do that, like, because video games, everybody likes video games, and I'm like, dude, you can't do. They like did a whole promo, and like they brought in like a dude, and who was like gonna help the party, and it was a video game, like a really obscure video game.
Oh, the guy who broke the record for Donkey Kong. Yeah.
How the fuck? I can't.
He made they made a documentary on that guy in like the early 2000s. That's the last time he's been relevant.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like there's a lot
this
of
happened in WCW, and that's what I don't understand. Like, how doesn't Cody see that? Like, this happened in WCW where the boys were doing all the writing. Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
It doesn't. It clearly doesn't, because like also they spend like, dude, not everyone who was from WWE, none of them should be coming in and going, they treated me bad and I was misused. Like, don't come in and tell me about how you sucked in the other place. That's so weird. What a weird thing to do. This is all, we all know this is fake. Just do something else. Like, just literally come in here, pretend you didn't exist there, and just kick ass.
Start over. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
this is your fresh start that you wanted. Just do it.
Yeah.
Well, Mox did a good job with it, I think, a little bit. You know?
I still love Mox. I mean, he's really good. There's of course pieces of AEW that I love. I just think that it's like it's what happens. Like everyone kind of gets like it's like still really new. So we got to give it a little bit of leeway, but it's like, I don't know. They made a ton of promises with like, this is going to be like different. And I'm like, well, it's not really that different from WWE. It's kind of the same thing. And I feel like it's hard to put, like, the tag team stuff is great, but like, I don't know. It's hard. It's kind of the same thing with like, I feel the same way about wrestling now that I feel about like a lot of like metal music. And it's like, it's not enough to just be really good at what you're like. It's not enough to just be a good wrestler or like a really good guitar player. Like it's about the presentation. It's about the craft of it. Like it's hard because there's just so much of it.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah. And you got to, and you know, everybody's stepping their game up, I think, in terms of production value. I've seen a lot of bands, I guess, coming out independently that are putting a little more effort into the presentation of their music, because it makes all the difference in the world. Because anybody can get on Skype and drop, you know, bedroom guitar playthrough video, but when you present it the way you guys are doing it, like it's, like I said, it's artistic, and people need to step up. So I get it. It's people. Everyone needs to step up now, because this is a time where everything is going to change one way or the other. You know what I mean? I was telling people that the image of Trump being dragged out of the White House is something that a lot of people want to see. They're like, this would be a great end cap to 2020, and you know, justice and blah blah blah. I'm like, that's great, but also that's enough evidence to trigger his entire support base. Like, look at them, they're dragging him out. Attack! You know what I mean? Like it's not a good image. You have to look at, but if that image actually happens, it's like, oof. We can celebrate, or you know, I'd say be cautious.
Yeah, the thing is, I think it's I don't think we're going to see that. I think that we're going to see like a limit, because you can't one way or the other. Like, I think like a weird epiphany I've had about like the right is whatever is like, look, they just want their system and they want their money. Mitch McConnell is not going to let the system fall apart, because Mitch McConnell is made of wet plastic bags and sand, and he can't survive. That motherfucker can't survive the revolution or whatever. He doesn't want that. He'll let like do believe that like the whole system is just built to try to get is for like right-wing people to get their friends' money. Like when people are like when people are like they're defunding Planned Parenthood, it's like I don't think they give a fuck if Planned Parenthood exists or not. Their goal is just to get a similar program or like another program that's on the same line as Planned Parenthood, that the Planned Parenthood money, because their friend works for this other company. Like that's what's happening. And they need the system. They need our like we still need they need the Electoral College to exist because it's the only fucking way that a right-wing like a right-wing person can get elected to the presidency or whatever, because they haven't won the popular vote in maybe a decade. Like it's crazy. So I don't think we're going to see a Trump dragged out. I think eventually what's going to happen is when we get closer to it, like the right is going to be like, all right, look, it's over. The experiment is over. And it's becoming less. We wanted it as a distraction, but now it's becoming a liability. So we're gonna have to end this.
I think you're giving them way too much credit. I don't think they will say it like that. This was an experiment.
They will not say it like that. They will not say it like that. Absolutely not.
They'll figure out a way to point fingers, but like on the way out, just like just grunting out the door, pointing, shaking fists. I'll get you next time, catch it.
I think it's absolutely that. But you have to remember like why Trump was the right wing choice was because he literally came in there and got the right wing people fired up, and he fucking just dunked on every other eligible candidate. Like he just made fun of everybody to the point where they're like, fuck, I can't believe this happened. He's our only option if we're going to actually get into the office. He's our only option because he dunked on everybody. He like came in and cut literal wrestling promos on other candidates and their wives. They're like, I mean, it's their system, it's their game, so they had to go with it. But I don't think anyone minus like Giuliani, even if you watch like Mitch McConnell or whatever, he seems exhausted. He seems like he's like, look, man, I'm the worst person in the world. I'm Mitch McConnell. I'm the fucking worst, but even I am tired. Like,
well, the thing is, I was talking to Mike Hill, about this today, and it was that I'm glad I am a pro wrestling fan during these days, because a lot of my friends are confused as to what's going on, and I totally, I see the heel storyline playing out. Like, this is all wrestling. Mm-hmm. Our politics are a pro wrestling story arc. Yep. And I can appreciate the what's happening, but I'm ready for the next, like, all right, the big blow off. All right, SummerSlam, let's fucking, let's end the storyline. Time for a new arc. Time for a new thing. It's insane, man.
Yeah, well, we gotta, the thing is we're gonna like we're gonna have to just get ready to like, I don't know. We have an environmental countdown clock. We have a lot of shit that we got to do. So, like, people are ready to rest right now. But it's like, man, listen, Biden's gonna be a problem too. Like, he's picked because he'll play the game a little bit. It's
gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a problem. He's gonna have problems dealing with the Senate because they're still like, I don't know if they've. That's a big deal that we don't have all the seats in one side or the other. So it's just, banging heads. That's all it is. There's
Yeah, it's
no
banging. It's all it's like even to get
ingestion.
Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass, but we're just gonna like, there's gonna be like we're gonna have to yell just as much as we did with Trump, not with as much. I think hate and
disdain,
depression. Yeah, it's gonna be different, but it's gonna have to be you like we have to yell just as much because there's the potential for someone to maybe listen because they have shame and care about their self-image and they're trying to play like the game a little bit. It'll matter to them a little more to try to take in the interest of the people. It's going to be just as much work to get our shit together because there's a lot of shit that has to there's already I forget because I just read it this week. There's already like a person going into the cabinet with like fossil fuel connections, and it's just like, God damn it, we got 7 years. At the end of this, there will be 3 years. We got to not melt the planet anyway. But yes, it is absolutely pro wrestling. It just proved this,
I don't know what we're going to do. I guess we just keep watching and trying to participate and make our voices heard, right? Isn't that what we would do in wrestling? Keep booing Roman Reigns until they make him a heel?
Yeah, it's weird that they picked, it's weird that he got made a heel when there is no audience to be like,
boo him.
To be like, dude, we would love to boo, or like they would they would cheer. They would cheer him. They would.
That's the thing. It doesn't fit the McMahon narrative. He wants. So now he could just pump a bunch of booze through the channel, and now Roman's a bad guy because you hear the booze, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. I try and keep up with what's happening politically only because it's really the only thing going on TV some days. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? That's just what's on. I don't even have TV. I turn on my television set and I put on YouTube. And it's usually, a couple things I actually want to see, and then a couple things of, they sneak it in there. The top 2 rows are your subscriptions, your friends, people you're supporting, and then right in the bottom, in the middle there's all these political fucking videos. So I'm like, I guess I should keep an eye on whether or not the world has ended today.
Yeah, I skim the free New York Times in the morning. I do not have actual New York Times money, but I'm like, this will be like, the New York Times has its problems, but it's got I know that I'm like, there's just journalism and science in it or whatever. So I'm reading that I'm like, okay, here's what's happening. And then I'm just like, I deleted my Twitter at the beginning of the pandemic. Like, I don't have a Twitter anymore. Can't do it. It's just most social media is like, I have to keep my Facebook because I have to be the one who has the Facebook. Like Drew, my teammate, he's running Twitter and keeping things there. So like since I usually am talking to my mixer and I just like when we're sending like bounces or stuff back and forth, like we're usually communicating through Facebook. Like I do just because I know he'll be at his computer. Like if it's on the phone, I don't know if he'll be at his computer or not. But if whatever. So I'll like that's the only time I'm like on a Facebook, or if I'm like posting something for 2 minutes. I'm just trying to keep things up there, but I'm doing that, and then I'm staying minimal. I'm also like you. I'm staying minimally engaged just for like mental health purposes. I want to know what's happening, but I can't like
deep dive.
I can't do all of like the deep. I can't do the same people sharing the same like small text Instagram posts about like about every problem. I'm like, dude, I know. We all know we're following each other. Like, we're all mad that there isn't rent relief. It's fucked up that there isn't rent relief, but because that would fix. We could all stay home if there was rent relief. It would be better. But you know, I'm keeping busy with. I'm thankful to have 2 minutes because I'm able to stay busy. I am able to work on music. I am. It gets exhausting. Like, dude, I'm so tired. I've never been this tired. I don't know. It's a weird time to be this exhausted from working when already it's hard to like just keep track of time and whatever. It still feels like it's April, but also it's 2 years later. It's been
many years since the pandemic started.
I know.
It's been many moons, sir.
Yeah.
This year I found myself multiple times like on my couch, like face planted, just completely face planted on the couch, and then like my alarm going off on my phone with like, "Hey, you have a podcast in 10 minutes," and I'm just like.
That was me today, but with a pile of leaves, and it was your podcast. I was like, "Oh, right, it's fucking 5 p.m."
But see, you were still working. Like I find myself sometimes just collapsed. Like I keep working, I'll work out, and randomly I'll drop to the ground and do some push-ups, and then I'll go outside, grab the dog, go for a jog, come back, keep working. You know, like it's like a nonstop cycle. But every once in a while, I come to consciousness and I'm face down somewhere. Like, what happened? And it's like, oh, I think I stopped and started stretching and might have passed out. Just, you know.
I'm trying to read. I'm trying to just like, if I like need to take a break, I'm trying to like, I'm rereading like I'm gonna reread Hellboy again. I haven't read that since like high school, and I love that. I'm trying to do what I can to make just productive use of the fact that like I'm in my house. So I'm like, I'm in my house forever. I'm gonna get a bigger house for the same money that I'm already paying, because there's like
makes sense.
There's like, I felt weird about leaving Brooklyn and Ridgewood, and because it wasn't for like New York's not fun anymore. Like I love it there. It's a pain in the ass. Like I felt a little too old for New York since I was like 25 years old. For 5 years, I'm too old to be here, but I'm here for
New York. Beats you down, man. A lot of walking, a lot of subway shit, a lot of and during a pandemic, subways, dude, I can't even imagine. It was already bad normally, so
yeah, dude. I didn't use like the subway because I didn't need to. Like if I needed to go into the city, I just like rode my bike because I needed the exercise anyway.
Would you take the bridge?
Yeah, I take like Billy Bergen or 59th. But I remember I got the other thing is like I got laid off in April, so I had to make 2 minutes my full-time job. I was working at I was just a content creator, or I was a creative producer at a media place that was exclusively, I worked for Thrillist, so it was just exclusively food and travel content. So of course that shit fell apart really hard at the beginning of this. I was a little ready for it, but I was like, man, I got laid off. So I don't have like a job here. Like the only thing I have is 2 minutes, so I'm gonna focus on that. And I then was like, it got really hard to take my dog to the park because the park is just full of people picnicking. around here because
There's
it's
no
all
virus. It's a
yeah.
hoax.
It's a well, and it's like, well, what are we gonna? They're wearing masks. It's the only thing they can do. I'm like, I get it. Like, we all lived in New York because you could go outside and do stuff, and it didn't matter that your apartment was small. And now it's people are real. Like, I'm realizing like I have a dog. It matters that my apartment is really small and that I can't bring my dog anywhere, and that my lease was up. My landlord is trying to sell the building. So I was like, I just checked out in like surrounding New York areas to still be in New York. And I found something that was perfect for me. There's like a soundproof basement, you know?
Nice.
Like I can when it's safer to like really have some people over, I'm gonna like I can set up a jam space. Like that's been the dream my whole life. I'm just
Right.
I feel like I'm making the choices I was going to make. I feel like a lot of people are doing this. You're making the choices that you were going to make like maybe 5 years from now, but I guess right now, because whatever.
'Cause, yeah. What else are you gonna do?
What else? I do not know. I'm grateful to have the space that I do now. I'm grateful that my dog can like get real exercise and that I can take like
Are you married?
I'm not. I have just like a long-term partner. I don't think we're not like excited about marriage. We're just excited to hang out with each other.
Have you talked about introducing a third person to the party? And I don't mean a threesome. Hey, you, a child.
No, we don't want kids.
No? Especially
Yeah,
during this time.
especially during this time, we just I don't know. Like we're I'm not we're like we both talk about how it's like we both have like a lot of depression and anxiety and we're just like not excited to like pass that on. And so if we were going to have a kid, it would be like an adoption. Like I think the only thing that's on the table for me for like a kid would be to adopt a kid. Because if I don't want to adopt a kid, I don't want a kid. I think
Right.
is the real answer because there are children that need homes.
Yep.
There are I think it's like adopt don't shop for dogs, and I kind of hold the same idea towards
For humans.
for humans a little bit because we, you know,
But shopping for humans is so much easier. It's like one click.
it is.
Google has
totally
your
get
credit card information saved. You just click once.
I get that people want. I get. There's a whole other element to it where, you know, there's the biological connection with your kid, and I understand that that's like a really powerful experience and a part of life. But I'm thinking just practically, if I really wanted to raise a child, there are kids that really need that. So I'm looking to that, and I don't know if I just want that. I'm too busy right now to take, like, I wouldn't have the time to do what I'm doing. I also I don't know if that's just for me right now. I don't know if we're going to be kids people. Like, I love the responsibility I have taking care of my dog. It's not the same thing as a kid, but it's just like
Some people think so.
some people think so. Here's the thing. Emotionally, I love my dog more than anything. I am fucking crazy about my dog. I love Ginny more than I've loved like anything in my entire life. Like my partner knows that Ginny is the priority in my life. Like I love her too, of course. Like we've been together for like years. But we like, you know, like I've had Ginny for like 5 years now, and she is just I don't know, dude. Just I'm getting enough of like the the urges to take care of something out of taking care of this dog. And I'm pouring so much into it. And I feel like
That's good.
if I'm amplified, if that feeling is going to be amplified with like a child, like I'm not ready for that shit. I'm not ready to love or be worried about something more than I'm already worried about my weird Boston Terrier mix. I'm just not, that's just not for me right now.
I feel you. I feel you. I'm a recent doggo father. I mean, I've had dogs before, but we my wife and I got a doggo, and Bronson, the rock and roll beer dog.
Hell yeah.
I've considered, I was like, I see people with like Instagrams for their dogs. I think I want to do that. But, the idea was to post pictures of him at different breweries, but like I can't go to breweries right now. So
right.
What am I going to do?
Yeah. You should get the breweries to send you beer and you do the photos with it next to it.
Right. I was going to ask you, so now that the show has taken off so crazy, like this, and million views, madness, are you getting people just like bombarding you with offers and shit all the time?
We're getting some. We just we're doing stuff with like Liquid Death has appeared in some of the videos. I think it's really like we're picking the stuff where, like, the problem is I would do every sponsorship if we still had the talk show, because that's just what a talk show is built for, It's and when we start doing other aspects of the show, we will probably bring in more sponsors, but it's hard to do something more than product placement inside of a song without making the song and all of everyone's hard work about the product.
Right. Yeah.
More like I'm willing to do stuff like have, like in the King Diamond video, have a skeleton wearing a Liquid Death shirt. And we love Liquid Death. I think everything that they're about is rad. I think I also it's a product I can support because it's water.
Right.
I'm not, there's nothing I have to feel like guilty about. Like they're trying to replace bottled water at big events.
You'd be surprised. You would get negative comments because the Liquid Death gets shit all the time because of their, satanic theme for water. Like, water's supposed to be life-giving. What are you doing?
It's great. I love their purposely bad and annoying advertisement. I think it's super funny.
Yeah,
that's very on brand for it. It's like they made an album with their mean YouTube comments as lyrics, and I'm like, that is so in line with what we already do. Like, we have a character, Hard Melissa, interviews with her with angry YouTube comments. So I'm like, I love people being creative with this. So they were definitely the right partnership for us. We've gotten other offers and we've talked about it, but it's there's lots of other brands that I would love to work with, but in the music performances, it's got to feel more organic. We've had coffee companies like, hey, will you drink my coffee on in the video? And I was like, well, I feel it's like that kind of stuff feels a little weird because I'm like, I wouldn't want to fake drink a coffee. I drank Liquid Death in the video. I'm with that. But I'm like, I shoot my videos at night and I don't want to fake drink coffee on it, but I don't want to or whatever. Or I'm also just I'm in my 30s now. I can't be drinking the strongest coffee in the world now. I get anxiety. It's just, I'm adapting to being older. My back is bad. I got to get a better mattress. I got to take care of stuff. I'm going to probably be. I'm gonna be like a bald guy in like. Yeah, it's
I hear you, man.
it's coming for me. It's in 5 years. Like I'm gonna have to figure out. Like, all right, there's gonna be a time where we're gonna have to do a bit about like
You're getting
we're gonna have to come up for like why Gwarcenio. We're gonna have to figure out what bald Gwarcenio looks like. Probably it's
Horns.
gonna be weird. Horns, absolutely.
Horns.
But then I'm gonna have to learn how to use spirit gum. It's gonna be a whole fucking thing.
Toilet paper and spirit gum. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's cool, man. I've been experiencing that a lot. You know, I started doing a lot of exercise at home when this whole thing hit with a kettlebell, and then since I'm not a fucking trained professional, I ended up hurting myself, and now I have this like weird pop in my elbow that's like permanent. Like whenever I turn my arm now, it just goes pop. I'm like, great, well, that's never going away now. That's what happens when you start reaching the late 30s and 40s. Like, well, that's a new sound for
forever.
Yeah. My wife is feeling it too. Like she just turned. She's, I'm not gonna say her age, but she just got to an age where her knee's starting to hurt, and she was like, "Why does it hurt? I didn't do anything bad." I'm like, "You. It's what happens. It's just what happens. Like after you walk for a certain amount of years, your leg just goes, fuck you."
Yeah. I'm trying to get, I'm like running is my favorite thing exercise wise. I've done it a lot. It's always been hard in the East Coast because you get just like the unbearable weather on certain days, and it's like, well, what can I do with this? So I'm getting like a treadmill for the first time because I was like, I'm gonna have to start running every day, or else my knees are gonna quit on me. Yeah. I have to be prepared to I need to be running every day so that I can just be as prepared as I can for shit knee.
Right.
Yeah, or like so that I can have like a tolerance, or like I can ease into an easier running style. I'm just trying to be preempt. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve. You can only do so much.
You gotta stay limber, man. You gotta stay limber for the apocalypse.
For sure.
That's what I've been telling my friends. Like, just make yourself hard to kill. Just stay in shape so that when the shit hits the fan, you can go full Mad Max and survive.
What a fucking boring apocalypse. If this turns into the apocalypse, if this is a slow burn to what our apocalypse is, what a fucking bummer. Not even just out of the blue. Not even like
totally expected. Been waiting for it. I'm not
just
it's
if
coming.
we have people are gonna go into the apocalypse like, all right, here we go.
I knew this day would come.
Yeah. Like, God damn it.
It is, man. LA is just going to slowly burn. Every year we get these wildfires. Eventually, all of it's just going to burn to a crisp, and it's just going to be this wasteland like Fallout. And, the tent cities everywhere with, dude, it's pretty bad out here. Like, when I go out for food sometimes, I like to try and support some local businesses and shit. And I'll go get some takeout, and it's just increasing every week. More and more tents on the sidewalks. I'm like, not going to get any better. More people are losing their jobs. More people are not going to be able to pay rent, and they're not stopping the rent shit. So
they got it. I mean, our wealth distribution is just so out of control, and it's just people want it to. We got to do like something, because I mean it hasn't made everything perfect in like other countries, but like even Canada at the beginning was giving people a reasonable amount of money and relief to a lot of different home businesses, and I don't really know if I'm sure it's changed. I'm sure they stopped doing it because no one expected this shit to go on this long. Yeah. But I think it's I think the other thing we have to be mindful of is that this is not the first time that this has happened to the world, even amongst the concept of a society. So it's gonna suck and things are gonna feel fucking terrible and we're all mad at our governments because they fucked all this shit up. But like, I mean, there is, if we really fucking listen, if we don't get that and by when I mean listen, I mean listen to like science about taking care of our planet to make it last just like a little bit fucking longer. We have a countdown clock. If we pay attention to that and really make efforts to change some stuff, there's a reasonable ability that there won't be the world's most boring and lame ass apocalypse. Like not even a Mad Max apocalypse, not even a weird fever dream nightmare. Like it's gonna be like what is it? It's gonna be like Cloverfield 2, but everyone's much more tired.
I was gonna say that the Mad Max stuff is gonna come later. It's gonna take a few years of nothingness. And then the clans will start, like, you know, the squads will start coming up, you know, the little locations here and there. You start hearing whispers in the desert. You head north, follow the stars.
Yeah, maybe. I'm starting to think that, like, we've really, like, the one thing is with our doom and gloom is, like, we are really overestimating, like, we're giving a lot of credit to the determination of that type of shit, and I think it's just gonna be a little more boring because it has been more boring.
I'll tell you right now, when the shit burns to a crisp, you can find me somewhere setting up camp, building a society. Don't worry about it. You're welcome to join me.
Cool.
That's my current 2020 plan. Is figuring out who's coming with me, setting up the transportation. We got welders and farmers. We got you know, experts in animal you know, reproduction, so we can provide crops and foods and whatever to everyone.
Right. Yeah,
it'll be good. It'll be good.
Be really hard to be vegan in the apocalypse.
Yeah, you're gonna have to figure out spam. Everyone needs to figure out spam. It lasts forever. It lasts 27 years. Canned pork meat.
But I don't know. If we gotta get, I think on the bright side of things, we have, I think everyone is more ready than ever. I think the thing is, our system fucking sucks, but the voter turnout in general is like more votes than ever before in an election. Good sign. People are pissed off. We are like, listen, like shit got fucking nuts over, rightfully so, because people are madder than they've ever been over stuff. But hopefully now we're making more strides. Also, whether we have control, whether like the right has control of the Senate or not, there are more social, like more like leftist and even socialist like senators and people with positions of power in government than there ever have before, and that's a great sign towards, like, whether you're afraid of the concept of involving socialist ideas into the democracy or not. Regardless, is they're going to make strides to trying to get better wealth distribution and fucking healthcare. Like, we all know our healthcare is garbage right now.
Yeah, but it's a dirty word amongst a lot of the supporters. Like, if you look at my Cuban friends, which, you know, I love my heritage and my friends, but you know, they don't. The word socialism in any form or way, even if it's just a whisper, is enough for them to say no, because
that's true.
It makes them think of communism. They think they associate socialism to communism. I'm like, guys, it's not that black and white.
Exactly.
You can't take some of the socialist aspects and drag them out of that system.
Well, you have to look at it like me. Here's the thing. Like, capitalism is not the right version of government. Obviously, we have seen we're going to keep coming up with government ideas, and they're going to fall apart because we're humans and we're imperfect and no one has the fucking right thing, but we're going to have to keep changing and evolving what society is, or else we're going to fall the fuck apart. Like, we have to, and sometimes new ideas can come from old stuff. That's how you get my favorite band in the world is Gwarcenio, and they're fucking like Steely Dan and dad rock and then modern black metal at the same time. That's an old idea and a new idea at the same time, and it fucking kicks ass. It can work the same way with listen, communism and socialism in the past are governments that got it's like any government ever. Like, governments don't work when they get taken advantage of by assholes. But it doesn't mean that, like, there are ideas in democracy that are good ideas. There are also noble and good ideas in a socialism and even a communism. Like, the concept of trying to take care of everyone evenly is a very noble idea, and I think that's worth. There's obviously something worth like excavate. Like, we as people, even is when, like, why we have archaeology in general is to see what happened in the past and try to either take some of those ideas. We're trying to learn and adapt and grow, and that's just part of what you can't just shut off everything.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird. Yeah. A lot of my friends are that way, and my family, my uncles, my dads, my dad and my uncles are all very much the same way. Where they hear that word, it's a dirty word. They don't want it anywhere near them, but they don't realize the potential of or what happened. You know what I mean? The reason that Castro became evil is because he was hanging out with the Russians. And he instilled all of their dictatorship nonsense into their system. But in the beginning, everybody was behind Castro taking over because Batista was such a piece of shit.
Right.
So, it's just people don't see that. They don't see that there was corruption, yes, but it doesn't mean that socialism was bad. It's just that it got corrupted. The concept can be salvaged and can be, but the discussion is, and it's something that I deal with every day because I talk to my Cuban friends every day.
Yeah.
And I haven't given up that fight of like, let's talk it out, because
totally.
I need to figure out how to let Cubans break free of that. And there's also a lot of other shit, like Cubans are very misogynistic just by nature. They're very machista, the macho, I'm the one that brings money home. My wife doesn't, she cleans and cooks. That's it. I'm the one that's handling everything. And that's also kind of like, I'm trying to help them understand how bad that kind of mentality can be. Like, it's kind of toxic. Yeah, it's tradition or whatever, but like, come on, man. Really? You can't let your wife work or make more money than you because it makes you feel emasculated? Like, come on.
Well, dude, good on you, man, because I think that's the biggest thing that we really need to do. It just, I don't know, as like a white dude, I get mad when I see other white dudes yelling and fighting and like and like saying, like, calling each other like Nazis and whatever, and it's like, dude, it's your job to talk to this person that you're calling like a Nazi. Don't make like you, if you're gonna yell about like white privilege or whatever, then use your privilege to pass on all of this. You have to figure out a way to pass on this knowledge to this person that's pissing you off, because it is pissing off the people that it actually affects way more than you. So you need to like, I mean, there's only so much that certain people can do, but I think we need to, like, you already, the way you're speaking about like you have empathy and you understand the culture, so you're going to be able to like have an actual productive conversation with them, hopefully eventually. Like that's the way you get it. Yeah. I've like, we on the 2 Minutes channel, like we tell people to like DM us if they have questions about like the ideas that we think are important or whatever, and we talk to them because we have I think there's a way to have the conversation a little easier since they already kind of like us,
right?
Like for some reason, like you are following us for one reason or another, so there's something that we can see eye to eye on, and thus it's going to be easier to have the conversation.
We do live in 2020 where people hate follow you, too.
It's true. I mean, we definitely get that also. Yeah. Not as much as I always expect, but we've had productive conversations. I think you have to, like, the biggest piece is like when having those conversations, it's like, all right, well, what bothers you about this idea? And then you listen to what bothers them about it, and then try to work through it from there. I think that's, if there's any advice, it's like, you got to just hear what people are afraid of, and then try to go from there. Because a lot of it, like, what we're afraid of is, people not getting taken care of, or like people being mistreated, or like inequality. And usually with the fears are not directly related to that, to really sharing, but it's it's usually, a lot of these fears come from the fear of losing something. Like if they're like, I
worked so hard for all of this, and you're gonna take it from me to share it with everybody else.
Exactly. There's a lot of that, and that's a lot of what happens, especially with people who are afraid of like communism, or who have lived through it. They're like, they grew up with it being awful and having to escape from awful, and then work really hard in a system that made a lot of promises, and if they succeeded at getting, like, there's the mindset of just like, listen, I did all this just to take care of me and the people I care about, and that's all that I care about right now. So it's a hard mentality to.
Well, here's a message for the Cubans that I can tell you, is that you left Cuba because it was oppressive, because you had a dictator telling you what to do, controlling how much food you could purchase and bring home to your families, what kind of food it was too, everything to the T, like it's in a book, La Libreta. Mm-hmm. So you left that country to come to America because we had democracy, and provided you with the freedom. The democracy provided you with the freedom to have a job, to make something of yourself, and provide for your family and your kids. That same thing that you're trying to protect, you're giving it away. Because when you look at what Trump is doing with not accepting the election, that is against democracy. Mm-hmm. So if you're so happy that you're here because democracy worked for you, you should be defending democracy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I can say to them. And, a lot of them don't listen. They just kind of, whatever, fucking commie. It's like, okay, got it. All right.
Yeah, it's hard. Dude, it's so hard.
But hey. Yeah. What can we do but just keep spreading the word and trying to spread a positive message, man. That's all we can do. Use your platform to bring happiness, which you're doing with the videos, killing it. How many seasons are you at now?
I mean, we only have the one season, but we have
the volumes, because you're putting out like CD versions of like a collection, right?
Yeah. We're doing like once a month, like for 24 hours. There's like the songs are available. So we're coming up on volume 6, I think, because the last one was just all the Halloween songs. Which is awesome. It's been really cool to do that. I'm I know a lot of people are like, can we get a vinyl? And it's just weird because we're not dealing with our own songs. So it's hard
There's
to
a
figure
lot
that
of
out.
licensing going on there for
Yeah,
sure.
there's a lot of work there's just more work than people. It's not just that we don't want to do that. Like we want to do all. You don't think I want like a cool vinyl record that is 2 minutes to late night on it? I want that for me. I saw like a dude on Instagram just made vinyl in his house of our stuff, and I was like, that's sick. I can't have that. That sucks. But
Yeah,
you know,
it takes a lot of paperwork, a lot of attorneys and people signing off on permissions, and
yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of work. People don't take that into consideration, but
yeah,
it would be cool maybe one day.
maybe one day, man. We also got a lot of like people keep watching our channel because it's not like the covers aren't going anywhere, but there's just going to be more stuff from 2 minutes in 2021. There's just going to be like we're gonna evolve and we're gonna keep moving up, and it's just hopefully you'll like it.
Yeah,
Maybe you won't, but I don't know.
go to YouTube. Go to 2 minutes to late night. At Instagram, is it 2 minutes to late night too?
Yeah, it's just 2 minutes to late night. On Twitter, it's 2M2LN, but you can find it just by googling 2 minutes to late night.
Yes, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to talk with me. It's been
man.
Quite a journey since we've met and since the last podcast. I've seen it all kind of explode, dude. I'm happy for you,
dude.
I'm jealous that you get to jam with some of my favorite musicians. You ass. I'm just kidding.
You're talking to all of those cool musicians yourself, my friend. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm lucky, and I'm fortunate that people are cool, and we're all it's all a big family, dude. You're bringing in everybody that friends that I know, like Witte and Mastodon dudes, and Dave Davidson, and it's fantastic. I love the community. So
yeah, dude.
Stoked to have you on, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hey, everybody, follow 2 minutes to late 2 minutes to late night. God,
yeah.
Dude. Oh, I've been drinking this Cosmic Eye IPA, but in the back here, RIP EVH, Drop Dead Legs. So
and
tribute to him. Cheers to him. Did you see the Wolfgang thing before we sign off?
The which thing?
He put out music. He put out a song with a video. It's really nice.
I haven't listened to it yet because I'm not like emotionally
ready for it.
Like the EVH thing hit me hard, man. I've lost a lot of dude. Like it's very trivial, but my favorite things have like passed away this year. Like we lost Eddie Van Halen, which is if you've seen 2 minutes to late night, you know what that means to me. We also like Drew and I's favorite show, one of the biggest inspirations on just like what we do or how we approach things is the Venture Brothers. They canceled that. I hope they figure something out because
I heard something Netflix might be doing something, or either Netflix or Hulu. One of them is doing something with them. I don't know.
I hope the thing with that show is it's not like it's awesome. Of course, I want it to get picked up because I like it and I want to see it. But the show is an anomaly. Nothing is like that show, even from just like an entertainment system working. Like they're the only show in the history of the world that's existed for 15 years and hasn't had to make like a season like each year or get creatively stunted in some way. Like they were just consistently like it was a pain in the ass to make that show. Like if you hear like those, it's two dudes making a show, which inspired Drew and I to really just remain kind of like to continue this show as a 2-person force. and they chain smoke and scream at each other at 3 a.m. all the time. But they made a show on their own terms. They're the only thing I know of that exists in a quality over quantity like spectrum and still like and remained a TV show. It sucks that they got canceled like right before their last, like what probably would have been the last season, and in a time where animation can still thrive. It's
right,
crazy to me that's what Adult Swim tried to do. I know it's probably they'll probably make it to like HBO or whatever. It'll probably still exist, but it genuinely breaks my heart that, you know, because I'm always looking for that in anything. I'm looking for the band that releases stuff on their own terms and is and doesn't get creatively stunted and remains in the same label the whole time. Because you want to see that. You want that. Like Venture Brothers was like an inspiration to me that I'm like, listen, it'll be a pain in the ass, but this exists in the world. Like there is a way to remain to stay a little successful and have your creative integrity in one way or another. Yeah. Like they were late on every season, but it still made its television, and it sucks that last one's like, it'll be cool if it's on HBO Max or whatever, but there's something that stings about it, just like, even though television is dying and that's just not what it is, that it's just not, it's not gonna finish on actual television. That breaks my heart a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, the relationship I've heard of people with Adult Swim, because they keep putting out really good content, but also they cancel a lot of content that's doing well. Like, it makes no sense. And I've heard complaints from people that have worked with them too, but it's a weird thing. It's a weird place. So hopefully they get picked up by somebody just so we can get some closure. But
I hope they get the closure, but it's just, you know, it's there's a lot of stuff in just the entertainment industry that just breaks your heart or breaks your spirit, and you got to like find your light through it. And they were always just kind of a light of like this weird moderate success for this fucking weird Johnny Quest spoof show that has become something entirely different, that has just become just a platform for just some of the biggest world building I've ever seen and the most specific humor ever is still it's still technically on the air, and that's baffling because nothing works that way. I've been working in entertainment and just on the production side of things for fucking years. Nothing exists like this. No, they would. It's just I also hope they get picked up and it gets to finish. I wish that it would just get reverse uncanceled like a Family Guy or whatever, so it can just make it to the finish line on its original idea, just for the concept of it. But that's well,
maybe HBO Max lets them do it their way, without any interference. Hopefully,
totally.
That's the hope. You were naming things that have died this year: Eddie Van Halen, Venture Brothers, Democracy. It's been a great year. This is the year of This Is Fine dog in the burning house.
Yep.
That's literally the meme of the year, I would say. But we find a way, man. You are grinding, putting out amazing videos. Got to keep producing. That's all we can do, and try to get the word out. So, again, appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yeah, man.
We'll stay in touch. We'll stay in touch, and I'll keep watching all the videos and sharing them.
Hell yeah.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you. All right.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Eddie.
Cheers. Good night.
Bye.